Hey everybody, welcome to the reverse pitch here for the fall. Welcome as everybody still continues to flood into the room here. We'll just say a few words, introduce everybody coming in. We'll talk to the sponsors and so forth. I'm calling in from the Pacific Northwest where the Columbia River meets the sea. This is the unprecedented lands of the Multnomah tribes, other bands such as the Chinook, the Clackamas, the Cowlitz up where I live, up towards Ridgefield, Washington. Welcome to everybody. We have a lot of folks from the United States, West Coast to the East Coast, up into Canada, and even some folks calling in from abroad. My colleagues from the WCS, if you don't know the land that you are calling in from or that you reside, they're going to go ahead and throw a link in there so that you can find that information pretty quickly. Again, welcome to the reverse pitch. This is where you get to sit down and have the presenters, the funders, the grantors come to you. I know this is a very stressful event, or doing your pitch is sometimes quite the hot seat event. So I feel for you there. I want to thank my WCS colleagues, Anna, Kirpa, Joey, who are in the background, and they'll be in the chat as well for helping curate this event. We love being able to put this on for you. I fell in love with this type of event, the reverse pitch. I didn't know about it until years ago. I was working with Virtue Lab for a bit, investing in and supporting Cleantech startups. And at that time, we were obviously curating meetings between the startups that we were supporting and other investors, folks that we had co-invested with, folks that were upstream and downstream from us, so that they could meet these companies. I especially working within an accelerator program, had really came to understand how much work and stress and iterations all of you go through with pitches. So again, this is kind of a way, it's a win-win-win all around. In order to bring this to you, let you sit down, have some coffee, have a cocktail, depending on where you're at in time zone already. And listen to these. Plus, these are just great organizations. Part of the other value of this is that investors all communicate to each other and the grantors work with each other. So this is a super great way for everybody who's presenting today to get to hear about other folks that they didn't know about. So with that, this is all brought to you and available through volunteers with WCS. We have some great sponsorships, and we're going to actually hear from a sponsor here in a little bit. But first off, yeah, I just want to say, again, I'm Trisha. We'll go ahead and throw my LinkedIn in the chat. You can read more about me there. I since left Virtue Lab. I'm not working with startups so directly anymore, but WCS as a volunteer, I've been with WCS for about 5 years now, formerly a sponsor, and currently as a volunteer, able to reach a lot of folks and through this and continue to accelerate climate and clean tech startups, and especially amplify voices that have usually been excluded from this space, including obviously women. So thank you for being here. Thank you everybody for taking part and taking time out of your day. And especially the folks that are presenting today. They are from great organizations, but every single woman and ally that you will see here is aligning their personal passions with the professional work and the impact that they're doing. So I know how I have felt about this and trying to make a difference in planet and people, and just, again, make the world a little bit a better place, especially in the consumerism that we all take a part in. So a lot of the investing and a lot of the technology that's being supported, these folks are personally passionate about that. So high five, fist bumps to everybody that you're going to hear from today. Amazing people, not just organizations. All right. Well, first off, again, sponsors. Thank you very much. Liz, oh, shoot, sorry. That's right. We got to go back. Ground rules, sort of what to expect. Forgot about that one. So go ahead and stay muted. Obviously, we're doing kind of the collective video thing here. We have the chat. You're welcome to chat back and forth in there. Tell us where you're from. Post your LinkedIn. We're not going to have Q&A between these presentations. As you hear the speakers, you're welcome to go ahead and put your questions in there. And when they come offline from that, they'll go ahead and address any questions that you have there. Let's see. We're going to have a form that you can fill out that then, and they're going to put that in the chat here in just a minute. We're going to go basically in this order, but you'll be able to sign up for follow-ups with them. You can click whichever ones seem to really align with you. Again, listen to the thesis, the investment stage that they're interested in, geography they'll talk about, and they'll probably mention a lot of other programs and just support other than just the funding that they have. So again, that form will come out. If you don't grab it from here, totally fine. We're going to follow up on this event. We'll get you the recording. You'll have that form to fill out, and then a bunch of other links. Some folks have already that are presenting today shared some other links to resources already. So I'll go ahead and compile that list, and everything from the chat. If you share resources, feel free to throw that in there, and we'll collect all of that and put it together and send it back out too. All right. So first off, let's hear from Liz. Liz is from Cleantech Council, is our presenting sponsor. Liz, let's go ahead and bring you up here. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Glad to support and glad to be a part of it. I've been a member of the WCS for about a year, and the Cleantech Council is just about that old. So from the beginning, if we can move to the next slide, hopefully I've got a little bit of description. There you go. So just as backup, the Cleantech Council is a group of large global multinational companies who have made a strategic decision to fundamentally meet their sustainability goals by working with startups and innovators. So, a lot of these big companies, members include Sumitomo Chemical and Hyundai. They have a lot of innovation. They have a lot of great engineers and a lot of ideas, but they're not focused on carbon and, fixing HVAC systems and stuff like that. And so these companies have said, we are willing to work with, interested in working with new ideas and new startups, whether that is, buying from them or investing in them or co-developing product. For these multinationals, it is an investment. We're kind of like Shark Tank, where our sharks are Nissan and these big companies, but the startups are not pitching so much for money as they are for deals. And as we know, that first deal can really make or break a startup. So it's fun to be there. And of course, as a female entrepreneur myself, I have a little incentive to make sure that the ladies get a little bit of extra priority in terms of who makes the agendas and stuff. 3 bullets here. If a company is interested in membership, we really are a very wide variety of industries, energies, materials, manufacturing, chemicals, and some straight VCs as well. We meet every month in Silicon Valley and do this kind of Shark Tank thing. We introduce about 200 startups a year. It's free. So if a company is a good fit, just fill out a form, raise a hand, join our mailing list, and just drop me a line and say, hey, I'm ready. And we'll get you on an agenda. And then our meetings are in Silicon Valley, but we do have remote access for our members. Next slide. And then this is just a picture of kind of what it looks like. So not as fancy as Shark Tank, but definitely as interactive. And a link there, which I can also put into the chat, which will get you on our monthly newsletter. And there's all kinds of speaking opportunities and stuff in there. I'm happy to support the WCS. I'm happy to support these investors who are trying to reach out and grow their pipeline. So looking forward to the next hour.
Thanks, Liz. Thanks again for sponsoring. All right, we're going to jump into the reverse pitch. So again, remember, you're used to pitching to these folks, but these folks also have to pitch too, just to a different audience. So especially in this liminal space where they're attracting capital from philanthropies, federal organizations, other private funds, corporate funds. And so they really get to be in that catalytic space of being able to absorb that capital into the different mechanisms and programs that you'll hear about today, and then direct it towards impactful technologies that you're probably working on right now. And we hope to match you with some of these folks. But all together, again, this is all hands on deck to solve some of the problems that we have going on with the climate crisis and the impact on people that is happening. So it takes all of us really to help advance some of these clean tech and climate tech solutions. So I want to kind of set the tone here a little bit, invite my friend and colleague Anna Yee up, who also is on the entrepreneurship committee with me with WCS. She's taking part in leadership positions with WCS, but also her day-to-day job working with Department of Energy and many other things. So hi, Anna, bring you up.
Hi,
You want to talk about WCS with us for a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. I'll be quick because I know we got a lot of pitches to get to. But welcome, everyone. My name is Anna Yee. I'm a WCS board member and also the co-chair of the Entrepreneurship Committee, which runs events such as this one. We have an annual pitch competition, as well as Entrepreneurship Circle. Professionally, I'm with the Department of Energy. But enough about me. WCS is a nonprofit organization. We were founded in the Bay Area. We are now in 13 countries and have a membership base of over 500 professional women and men. We're going on about 12 years, and we put on really great events such as virtual events, in-person events on a monthly basis. We have professional development opportunities. We have a mentorship program. Applications are open now and close on November 10th. And then we have a eCircle program and TED Talk style event, which I'll get to in a second. Next slide, please. So like I mentioned, we have a lot of upcoming events. You can go to the website, check out the full list, but a couple I want to highlight for you. We have a couple next week. If you are traveling to Verge or are already located in the Bay Area, we are having a networking night. So we'll be at the 5 Points Cocktail Bar in San Jose. Drinks are on us. Come join us. And then the next day we have a virtual event around unconscious bias in fundraising. So that'll be a really interesting conversation for entrepreneurs out there. In November, we also have a couple virtual webinars. And then this is really important. Save the date for January 20th. This is the WCS Talks. It'll be taking place at Plug and Play in Sunnyvale, California. We do have speaking opportunities still available, so definitely reach out to one of us or visit the website, and tickets are on sale. All right, if you are not already a member, you should definitely sign up. You get some benefits such as free events, discounts on some of our larger events, and access to a Slack channel for networking and collaboration. Amongst other things, you can sign up via this QR code, and you'll get reimbursed for today's event. And then we have a merch store. So it's cozy season. We got some sweatshirts in there. We got a wine tumbler. So you're definitely going to want some of those for what I'm calling cozy girl winter. So definitely be sure to use WCS 15 off for 15% off your total purchase. And then really quickly, thank you again to all of our WCS volunteers, specifically Trisha, Joey, Tracy, Kirpa, Oakley. Those are the ones putting on today's event.
Fantastic. Thank you, Anna. All right. We're going to go in order. The graphic that was on the website on the event, these are going to kind of start somewhat from just, again, kind of granting non-dilutive level, kind of all the way down, so equity, and then into kind of debt. And that we have quite a few folks that are in that venture capital area, so just imagine them just kind of squished together in there, but wanted to make sure and get their logos in there too. So first up, we're going to hear from Nancy and Ben. We're going to start with sort of the federal funding level. Nancy.
See my screen, right?
Yep.
Hi, I'm Nancy Kamei from the Small Business Administration. The SBIR STTR program provides $4 billion of non-dilutive funding to thousands of companies each year. It's a phased program with escalating amounts available as grants or contracts. This program funds across the technology spectrum and runs at 11 different federal agencies. So please sign up for the newsletter or visit our website to learn more. And today we want to highlight one of those programs. And so I'm going to turn it over to you, Ben.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ben Schrag. I'm one of the program directors at the National Science Foundation in the Small Business Innovation Research Program. So I've been here for about 14 years, and prior to this, I was actually at a startup as an awardee of this program. So I've been working in the startup space for about 2 decades now. We don't have much time, so I want to just give 3 points that I think are really helpful for folks who are new to the government and to the National Science Foundation that I think would be relevant here. Number one is, we are a very startup-focused program. We're the government, so we fund at scale, but almost all the companies we fund are getting their first ever government grant or government funding. About 90% of them have never had government funding before, and we fund about 60% of our awards represent the first ever application by that company to the government. We fund again, early stage. And so the average median-sized company that we fund in our portfolio is 2 employees and is about 1.5 years old. Again, we're the government, so we have a lot of awards we make. At the National Science Foundation, we make about $250 million of worth of awards each year, and we have about 850 companies in the portfolio at any given time. I'd estimate about 150 or 200 of those are climate or clean tech related. The last thing I will say is that we try to be very entrepreneur friendly. We are all program directors who have both technical training because we're funding research and development, but we also all have startup backgrounds. So either founders or investors in deep technology startups. And so we're really trying to look for the best entrepreneurs and really support them on their journey rather than having them have to somehow conform to the government's needs. So I'll put my information in the chat. I'm really looking forward to folks to reach out and happy to discuss.
All right, thank you, Ben. All right, next up, we'll have Emily Evans. Emily is part of the...
All right.
Are you there, Emily?
Yeah, I'm here, and I'm happy to introduce myself. Thank you so much. It is such a pleasure to be here. We are so excited. Well, I'm so excited to be speaking to you all today. I am from the National Renewable Energy Lab, and I am a senior prize leader for the American Made Challenges program. The American Made Challenges program is a Department of Energy funded suite of competitions that's meant to help entrepreneurs, communities, academics, kind of a very broad spectrum of people engage in what we call the clean energy revolution. So if I'm allowed, I'm going to go ahead and share my desktop real quick, and I'm just going to walk you through our website. I'm going to put this information in the chat in just a moment. But so we're a prize competition program. So similar to an SBIR, FOA, if you're familiar with that type of government funding mechanism, prizes are really intended to be a much, much lower barrier entry into government funding. And so what we do is we flip the traditional kind of grant funding on its head, and we set up competitions and ask you to start performing as soon as you hear about the competition and you're ready to dive in. And so we're able to greatly accelerate the timeline between starting work and getting funding. So we have a suite of different prizes. We have new prizes that are being added all the time, and there is truly a prize for everyone. If you are a hardware tech innovator, maybe you're making new inventions within the solar industry, there is a prize for you. Maybe you're part of a community and you're helping to decarbonize buildings or energy efficient, it's a prize for you. Maybe you're really closely connected to HBCUs and academics, there is a prize for you. And the great thing about the prize money that you receive is that there's no strings attached. It's for work that has already been completed. And so the money that you receive doesn't have any milestones or deliverables attached to it, which is really, really innovative and great for small businesses. So I'm going to drop this link in the chat to our webpage. This is AmericanMadeChallenges.com. And on this website, you are going to be able to see all of our open prizes and all of our prizes that are kind of currently in process. Overall, 70 prizes to date, and it's just growing and growing. We're launching new prizes all the time. So definitely join our newsletter, get connected. I'm going to put my email in the chat here, and I would be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. I love these federal programs. They're so useful.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Next up, we're going to hear from Jill with Activate.
Hi, everybody. Let me share my screen. Okay, can you see that? Okay, so hi, everyone. I'm Jill Foose. I am the managing director of our Berkeley community at Activate. Happy to be here today. A little bit about Activate. We exist to support our fellows. We're a people-first organization. We charge no fees, no equity to participate in the program. We support fellows who make things. So this is like deep tech, hard tech, you make a thing. We don't support purely software companies. And our fellows have a purpose. So they're working on problems and solutions that will have a huge impact for our world. Activate is a national organization. We have in-residence communities in Berkeley, New York, Boston, and we're just launching Houston, which will welcome their first cohort next year. We also have a fully virtual program called Anywhere that you can live anywhere and be in that program. The program, I don't have time to go into every part of it, but it's a 2-year fellowship. You receive a stipend for those 2 years. Also, $100,000 in R&D funds, as well as $12,000 per year of professional development funds, relocation funds if needed. You get access to our bespoke entrepreneurial education program that was built from the bottom up for scientists. Also our Activate community and mentorship. So in Berkeley, I'm the primary mentor to all of our fellows. So lots of one-on-one mentorship, as well as a really amazing community. And I should say in Berkeley, we partner with the Cyclotron Road program at Lawrence Berkeley National Lab to give our fellows access to the world-class research facilities at Berkeley Lab and access to the scientists there as well. We've helped 188 scientists since we were founded in 2015 across 145 companies. The reason for the difference in that number is that we have some co-founding teams that participate in the fellowship. Our fellowship works. Our fellows have raised $1.38 billion with a B dollars in follow-on funding. And that's a 23x leverage on every dollar spent for the fellowship. So really great return on investment, and our fellows are doing great. Okay, it's a bit slow. What does our typical fellow look like? These are scientists and engineers who are deeply knowledgeable in their field, experts in their field. They want to commercialize their technology or a technology, so grow into entrepreneurs. That's what we support, is that transition. They're great community members. They have the ability to lead the development of that technology, and the technology is feasible, potential for impact, and aligned with our mission for science for good. And finally, would the fellowship make a difference in this person's career? Our applications are open now until the end of the month. So if you saw earlier information about the fellowship, the applications were due on October 17th. We extended that till the end of the month. So please check us out and apply. And then this is a timeline for fellows to start next June in the fellowship. And I've gone over time, so I'll just leave this up here for a second. But these are just our eligibility requirements. I'll just say if you're a fellowship of you're a company that's raised more than $2 million in dilutive funding, you're not eligible for the program. So we are very early stage, the earliest stage of company, and I'd love to see your applications. Thanks so much for having me.
Congrats on that 1.3 billion. That is awesome. And this is that is such a cool space that you're in, because that transition from folks to go from like impact and idea into entrepreneurship is just so difficult. All right.
We agree. Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you. All right, next up, we've got Greentown Labs. We've got Kayla Goodale.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me. Can everybody hear me? My Wi-Fi is acting a bit odd.
We can, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So hi everyone, my name is Kayla and I work in new member recruitment at Greentown Labs. My pronouns are she, they, and I'm based in Somerville, Massachusetts, on the unceded land of the Massachusetts people. A quick rundown of what we do at Greentown. So we are the largest climate tech incubator in North America. We have locations just outside of Boston, Massachusetts, and down in Houston, Texas. Our mission is centered around providing startups the resources, knowledge, connections, and equipment that they need in order to thrive. So our startups are typically in the kind of pre-seed to Series A range, and they're GHG emissions and building resiliency against the impacts of climate change. Our kind of structure is we have a shared co-working space. We have BSL2 wet lab and a prototyping lab space in which all of our companies kind of hold designated spaces. So in addition to our physical space, Greentown has support programming, including our investor program and our corporate partner program that is designed to connect our startups to opportunities in funding, pilots, even potential clients down the road. And as all of you are kind of members of Women in Clean Tech and Sustainability, I already know that community is really important to you. And one last piece of the kind of Greentown puzzle is our climate-focused community. And so we very much recognize being a founder is hard. Greentown was built by founders for founders. And so recognizing that the climate space is changing rapidly with policy and technological advancement, our community team is really committed to creating opportunities for founders and those kind of like early hires to connect with each other over everything from IP questions or job descriptions or like implementing feedback into company culture, all of those things. And yeah, so if you're interested in learning more about Greentown, you can connect with me on LinkedIn or send an email to our recruitment email, which I'll put down in the chat. And then I will also be at Verge in San Jose next week. So I hope to meet some of you there. Thank you.
Thanks, Kayla. Well, I don't know if you were on it. So Greentown actually is a little bit famous. The Prince of Wales, Charles, had visited them. I think it was
I was there,
a year ago.
yes.
Yeah, pretty exciting.
It was the busiest I have ever seen the space.
I bet. Well, congratulations. That was pretty fun to see his visit. And I saw Emily there too. Yeah. All right. Catherine Wartzman, Amplify Capital.
Great. Thanks for having me, Trisha. Let me just see if I can share my screen and then do the slideshow. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Catherine Wartzman, managing partner of Amplify Capital. We're a Canadian impact fund. We're early stage and we invest in climate, health, and education. I'll try and get through this really quickly. So our mission is that we invest in groundbreaking technologies, creating exceptional impact, value, and returns. The impact is impacts such as improved patient outcomes, improved education, and climate carbon reduction. The returns are financial returns, and then the value is all the good stuff that we do in the middle. Some of the things you've heard from other funds today, similar. We help our founders with everything from customers to financing to strategy, governance, leadership. So our 3 focus areas, climate, education, and health, and really, pretty self-explanatory, the climate one. On education and health, we're really looking to democratize access and democratize quality to best-in-class tools and outcomes in both of these sectors. So we really anchor around number 13, number 4, number 3 as our SDGs, but we've added specifically number 8 and number 10 and reduced inequalities and decent work across education and health. And then, of course, affordable energy is important too. And then specifically, we measure our impacts. So just as an example, down below in climate, a couple companies there have contributed to up to 3 gigatons of carbon offset, specifically in HydroStore, which is long duration energy storage. And Early Bird is a literacy screen to help identify early literacy challenges, including dyslexia, and getting interventions faster. And then Verto is a digital twin software to improve patient journeys and clinical workflows, which just saves money and time. Where we play, so we are Canadian based, as I mentioned. This is where we're investing primarily across Canada. Up to 30% of our fund is in the US. And we lead about half our deals and co-invest in the other. Our portfolio construction, so we'll do a little bit of pre-seed, so a couple deals on pre-seed, and then a couple deals on Series A as a first check, but primarily we're investing the bulk of our capital into the seed stage and with $1 million check sizes, and then we reserve capital for follow-on. We take impact seriously, so we look for that SDG alignment, and then we do the impact underwriting using the impact management project, and I'll say our proprietary impact screen. We incorporate impact requirements and reporting into our legal documents. We collaborate with founders to design those impact measurement and reporting structures, and then we help our companies complete the B Corp assessment for best-in-class ESG policies. So a little bit here's more of our portfolios, our logos. We've had a number of exits, which has been great. We've been able to return our first fund more than we invested, which is nice so far. And really, if you haven't heard it before, but we really believe impact is an alpha driver. So large impact creates large opportunities and large revenue, large kind of buyout also opportunities. And we've been seeing that in our M&A. So customer loyalty, talent loyalty, and then multi-stakeholder benefit make the products and services extremely sticky. And then this is just a little bit about our fund and what our targets are. So I put this up here in terms of our fund 3, we're targeting probably closer to 50% climate and then 50% health and ed. And then we have specific impact targets, 100 megatons of CO2 reduction, sequestered or abated. That is across all of our portfolio companies, but it's still a big number. So if you're talking to us, we're looking for these big impact outcomes as targets for your company to help us make. And I think that's it.
Thank you. All right, awesome. Let's jump to Gabby with Dangerous.
Hi there. Thank you. That's great to hear, Catherine. So I'm Gabby Derbyshire. I'm a general partner at Dangerous Ventures. We're actually a new fund. We're just getting going. We're an early stage pre-seed and seed fund based on the West Coast with a partner in Santa Fe, New Mexico. And we are backing startups that build a more resilient future for people and planet. So we're essentially a climate tech fund, but we also do some people resilience as well. We launched in Q1 of this year. We've invested so far in 8 companies through energy, mobility, food systems, and climate adaptation companies. We're mostly focused in North America, but I will look at companies in the UK as well. So pre-seed and seed, check size is up to 250,000 at the moment, and we do not currently lead rounds. We will do that in the future on our fund 2 or 3. essentially, we believe the most sort of pressing and existential problems that are facing the planet actually represent really massive market opportunities, and they're going to be solved by entrepreneurs like you who are passionate and dedicated, and they'll have market-driven solutions. And so we think of it as sort of for profit, for purpose. You can have it all. You can have very successful businesses and also have the ability to make a huge difference. So we seek alpha returns along with proven environmental or social benefits. We also really like companies that have second and third order impacts. So there's a great example is actually a Canadian company. It's a precision irrigation company called Verdi Ag. They seek to reduce water wastage in agriculture and aim to save up to 30 billion liters of water per year by 2030. And in their first year of pilots, they've already started saving like 7 to 10 million liters, and none of their customers have churned out, and they've all increased their acreage. But the second and third order effects that we like is that if you water plants appropriately, not only do you get a higher yield, but you also get a better crop. So we like to see things where the sort of stated aim of the business actually has secondary and third effects, which are impactful. The firm is diverse owned. We aim to invest in diverse founders where we can. More than 60% of our companies are diverse led right now. One of our partners teaches classes at UCLA Anderson in sustainability, and another one teaches at the Dorr School of Sustainability at Stanford. And most importantly, I think that we were all founders and operators ourselves. So we lived a lot of the experiences that you're going through. And those experiences as entrepreneurs enable us to provide really sort of meaningful hands-on support from first check through exit to founders. We've got expertise in a wide range of areas, from engineering, product design, supply chain, sales, media, and legal. And we've got wide sort of overlapping networks through the country. So I think we really feel we've seen all the ups and downs that you guys have seen, and we know how tough it is. And we certainly believe that nothing good comes easy, but the journey is absolutely worth it. And we wake up every day excited to help the next generation of founders make their mark and to make a difference in the world. That's why we're doing it.
Thank you so much, Gabby, and welcome to Dangerous and the team, to the growing collective of impact investors. And thank you so much for the work that you're doing.
Pleasure to be here.
All right. Next up, we're going to hear from Next Frontier Capital, serving the Rocky Mountain region. Kristen. They might be on mute.
We see it in the screen.
Oh, there we go. Now we hear you. Yep.
Cool. Hey, everybody. Really nice to meet you. Thanks for joining.
Kristen, your desktop is showing, but not your slides.
Okay, let me try again.
There we go. Now we see your slides.
Cool. We seeing this now?
Yep. Slide shows up. Thanks.
All right. Thanks everybody for having us. Excited to be here. I'm with Next Frontier Capital. We are a generalist fund. I spend most of my time in climate and clean tech, so this is a really special event for me. We back companies building in the Rocky Mountains and the Pacific Northwest. We're on fund number 4. So we've been around since 2015. We like to invest in seed stage and Series A stage companies. Usually our check size is 2 to 5 million, leading rounds between 3 and 10 million. We prefer to lead or co-lead rounds. And so we have a higher target ownership. And we only, one thing I'll highlight here is we, as a fund, we do maybe 1 to 2 deals per partner per year. And so as lead investors, we join the board, we get very involved, and we go very deep with the companies that we back. And we prefer to work with companies that are targeting either B2B or B to government business models. We have, as a generalist fund, certain areas of expertise, although we will look at any kind of B2B technology. So, just to give the full highlight of the fund, we do data, AI, ML, enterprise software, cybersecurity, climate tech, deep tech, and fintech. And the reason that we have these areas is, similar to the, we just heard about the last fund, we're all operators by background as well. And we all have experience in these sectors. And so these are the ones where we can be the most helpful in thinking through strategy and helping connect you to the right hires, to the right potential next investors. And so these are the areas where we focus. And I have some things that we don't do down here below, but this is a good highlight of where we focus. Just for this event, I wanted to pull some fun investments that we've done to give you a flavor of the kind of companies that we love to work with. So we're in a software company called Optera Climate based in Boulder, Colorado. They do scope 1, 2, and 3 emissions calculations and help Fortune 500 companies set net zero goals. We entered at seed and also led the Series A round. We're in a company called King Energy. It's CEOs in Durango and team members are in Utah and California. They enable commercial solar on multi-tenant buildings like shopping centers and office buildings. And we co-led the seed round with a fund called Blackhorn Ventures. We're in a methane emissions company called BioSqueeze, which is a Montana-based company, but they operate in Canada, Pittsburgh, Texas, Colorado, Montana. They have an advanced material innovation that allows you to seal fracking wells that have been plugged, but the plug is a defect or it's not working anymore. And so they're leaking methane. We led the seed round for that company, and they recently raised a Series A from Velo Ventures in the Bay Area. And then the last one I highlight here is a later stage company that we invested in called Bridger Photonics. They have a gas mapping LiDAR solution that allows oil and gas to find methane emissions leaks in their upstream and midstream productions. And so those are just a highlight of some of the climate tech companies that we have done. We have 4 investing general partners with wide-ranging experience, anywhere from sort of early stage. I've been at Techstars to all the way up to hedge fund. My partner Rich spent time at Citadel. We each have particular areas of expertise, but it's me that spends most of the time for the firm and climate. And we also have an operations team, which is kind of unique for a fund of our size. So we have a CFO, an ops manager, and then 2 more junior partners that spend a lot of time with our portfolio companies and can help with anything from hiring to financial metrics to raising the next round of capital. And they're wonderful to work with. And then just some fun stats here. So we've got about 210 million of AUM. And our companies have raised, over 750 million after we invested. So we have a good track record of helping companies get the next round of funding. We've backed over 90 founders across 51 portfolio companies, co-invested with 60 plus firms. We've had 9 exits. We've got really strong funds 1 and 2, and you can see some of the co-investors that we worked with here. And then the final thing I wanted to highlight is just a little bit of how we work with founders. So, these are the kind of core areas where we help in fundraising, recruiting, and M&A expertise. There's a fun quote from our founder, Tony Lewis, who was the CEO of a company called Omni that we recently sold to JP Morgan. Said the NFC team was the team I turned to most during our M&A process with JPM. NSC is my closest advisor when considering deal competition, negotiation strategy, and understanding leverage dynamics throughout our M&A process. And then another great quote from Thor Culverhouse, who's the CEO of a company called Submitable, which is, we know the region, we provide a set of services beyond capital that others do not address in the same way that we do. So just giving you a sense of how we go deep with our founders. Thanks for having me. I'll drop my contact info in the chat and happy to connect if it makes sense.
Kirsten, thank you so much. All right. Julia Duvery, you've got a new look. Tell us about Convergent.
Hi, thank you for having me. So I'm Julia Davory. I'm a general partner with Convergent Ventures. I'm from France and from Canada, and I'm an energy and environmental engineer that's now based in San Francisco, where our fund is based. So Convergent Ventures is a seed stage fund. We invest, across 2 major verticals, which are health and sustainability, or as I like to call it, people and planet health. I would just want to note that seed stage to us means kind of line of sight on revenue. So real revenue from sales, not just grants and non-recurring engineering. So the sweet spot for us when we start to invest is when a company has a prototype or an MVP, and they're putting them in the hands of customers. So we are called convergent because we invest in convergent technologies. It's our own spin on deep tech and hard tech. We invest at the convergence of fundamental sciences like physics, biology, and chemistry with data. So it could be biology and AI, or chem and AI, or physics and biology together. So a little bit like Activate was saying, in stuff, in real things. One note on our investors, we have a network of large multinational corporations that are incumbents in chemistry, materials, and consumer products. And those are companies that make up the supply chain that a lot of our startups typically evolve into. And so we've built this ecosystem of corporates on purpose to help our startups navigate the supply chains that they're disrupting. So now I would just want to give a little bit more background into the two verticals and throw in some investment thesis of ours. If it resonates with you, on the people health side, we're looking for companies that bring medical technologies to the home, looking for technologies that are measuring novel and obviously useful biomarkers where none existed before. We're also investing in drug discovery and drug delivery approaches. At the intersection or the convergence of people and planet health, we're looking for companies that are developing novel processes to manufacture the products that we use on a daily basis. Those are typically produced today from petrochemicals. So I think a lot of those processes will be rooted in synthetic biology, mostly coming from the health sector as a technology, but they will lead to products that are much better for the environment and also for people's health. And then more squarely in the sustainability sector, I'm looking for technologies that are disrupting the mining industry, the textile industry, the packaging industry, large incumbent industrial and manufacturing processes. So it's typically startups that have some different solutions around the feedstocks, novel processes, or new end-of-life approaches. I also don't want to forget the energy sector, where I'm looking for solutions that simplify electrification of homes and of industrial processes, looking for grid-scale energy storage solutions, alternatives to heating and cooling that doesn't use harmful refrigerants, things like that. So if you have a startup in that space, or if you're a corporate that's interested, I would love to hear from you. I'll also drop my contact in the chat. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. All right, next up, Shelby with Cleantech. Tell us what you've been up to.
Thank you, everyone. Hi, I'm Shelby. I'm the program director of the Cleantech portfolio. We're based in New York City and Rochester. We're funded by NYSERDA, the New York State Energy Development Research Authority. So a lot of our resources are based here in New York State, but we're open to global folks to join us across our two programs. The two programs that we support are Venture for Climate Tech, which is an early stage studio/accelerator model. So that allows early stage companies who maybe have just designed a product in a lab setting during your PhD, or maybe in some other way, and you haven't determined if there's a good market fit, if it's investable, haven't done any technology readiness levels or commercial readiness levels. So really that program is about helping you determine if you should keep moving forward, introducing you to investment opportunities, getting you investor ready, all that kind of early stage fun accelerator model. There's a little bit of non-dilutive funding for participating companies in that particular program. That happens in the early stage. There's also opportunities to receive additional funding through a global challenge that will be opening next year. That global challenge should be in Q1, so March or April. So keep your eyes open for the application to join the challenge. Those prizes, similarly as described previously, are a really great first start to get you a little bit of funding under your belt so that you're more appealing to investors. They're pretty small. They're only $10,000 each, but that can take you a long way if you're an early stage startup. The investor readiness portion gets you ready for a big innovator showcase. We did that one in the New York City Climate Week this year in September. It was really well attended by investors, potential strategic partners, that kind of thing. So if you're interested in learning more about venture and you feel like you're at the right stage for that program, their next cohort application will also launch in January. So there's 2 different opportunities to join the venture program. The other program that we host is for growth to commercialization stage companies. It's called Scale for Cleantech. It is solely focused on manufacturing. So any of you who are here on the call that are focused on getting your hardware product to market faster, that's the program for you. So it's really based on focusing on manufacturing in the curriculum. So still a classic accelerator model. There is a lot of coaching in mentorships, technical advising, making sure you're hiring the next critical hires to manage your manufacturing team, take the brunt of that off of the CEO, for example. So it's a really great resource. We have a few things available for you before you join that program. The cohort is opening its application next week. The bulk of my team will actually be at Verge. So again, look for folks who are associated with either of the For Cleantech portfolio. So they'll either be representing Second Muse, which is the New York City company behind these 2 programs, or they'll be representing NextCore, which is our Rochester partner. And of course, folks from NYSERDA who've supported us going to The Verge. The available things that you can get ready today, if you are interested, we have built out a climate co-investment tracker that just helps you find out who else in this ecosystem is interested in your specific sector. It's a pretty easy to navigate tool. It's a beta version, so I'll just warn you that the data is only through March 2022. So just keep that in your mind if you play around with the tracker. Another tool that we have available is the basics of manufacturing. It's called the Learn platform, the Cleantech Hardware Manufacturing Guide. There's an assessment you can take that just shows you where you are in the process of getting your product to market faster. There's a ton of resources that are based on the manufacturing curriculum that we utilize in our program that are free for you to play around with and get a sense of where you are and what you may need from the accelerator itself, and to determine if you're ready to apply yet or if you want to try to go for venture instead. So I'll drop the link to all of those different things here for you all to explore. Please reach out to me on LinkedIn if you want to learn more or be in touch. You can also sign up for the newsletter on the forclimatetech.org website, and that will keep you in the loop of when the applications are open for all of those programs. And at that, I think I'm perfectly on time. Thank you.
All right, super rad. And those are some of the resources that we'll make sure and get sent out to in the post follow-up. So thank you. I think you already sent me the links to those. All right, let's keep moving. We're going to hear from my fellow Pacific Northwesterner, Dana.
Hi, everyone. I'm Dana Setha Robinson. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you. I am a member and on the board of E8 Angels. So E8 is a community of angel investors. In fact, I think it's the longest running angel group that invests in clean tech in the country. We've been around for over 15 years. Clean tech members invest in emerging clean tech companies, and our mission is to accelerate the transition to a prosperous and cleaner world. The stages we invest in are pre-seed, seed, and Series A, and we invest in companies throughout North America. Our group is based in Seattle, but our members are all across North America. We have many in Canada, several on the East Coast, and we even have a few members overseas. We tend to invest in equity, debt, and occasionally project financing. We offer a lot of different resources to our portfolio companies besides the financial support. Because we have over 140 members, we have a huge range of expertise. So we encourage those connections for mentoring, for advising, or even introductions to our network, particularly for follow-on funding. We also do some pitch coaching, which is my superpower, but we have a lot of people that help with that. And of course, we participate in follow-on funding. We run a very streamlined due diligence process that we've been refining for a long time, and it finishes with a comprehensive report that founders are able to share with other investors if that's desired. What I love about E8 is that we're making an impact while investing for profit. We've invested in many companies that as they grow, they're making a huge change in their industry and a big impact on the world. So that's what gets us excited. I'm also pleased to introduce some members of E8 who are on this call. Our executive director, Karen Kidder, is here, as is Molly Shore, who's an active member and runs several of our due diligence processes. So we've shared our information in the chat. We'd love to connect with you. Feel free to ask us questions or refer companies to us if they are looking for funding. And if you're looking for funding, check out our website because it's an easy process. You just click through and fill out an application. We're happy to connect and answer questions. Thanks.
Thanks for being here, Dana.
Our pleasure.
Hope you're enjoying the sun up there too.
We are. It's sunny and fall and crisp, cool weather. It's beautiful.
Isn't it? Yeah.
We love it.
All right. Next up and last, but definitely not least, Matilda, Arcturn.
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here. So I'm an investor out of Arcturn Ventures. Arcturn Ventures is actually a Canadian headquartered fund. But we have offices in San Francisco, which is where I sit, and Norway, also in Norway, which is where we have 2 investors. We're a climate VC fund. So as you can imagine, venture capital and combined with climate. And so like many of the other funds here, we're very mission oriented and really focused on climate as a goal. We've actually been investing since 2012. So we've been around for a while. And so hence investing out of the 3rd fund, which is to close at around 400 million. We're pretty agnostic within the space. So anything across sustainability, it could be energy, it could be food, ag tech. Our portfolio companies we have above 20 of them, and they kind of have a wide range of different things. So I think the one thing that binds us together as a team is that we are all very, very mission focused and very focused on the environmental use case. Our team was founded with 2 entrepreneurs, and many of our partners and many of the investors have operational experience, including myself. So we're very founder friendly. We really believe in meeting founders early. So even though we invest mostly Series A and B, we love to meet founders early. We love to support founders on that journey, but predominantly make our investments at the Series A and Series B stage. We invest in Europe, Canada, and the United States, and are very, very excited about this. And I'm really excited to be around a great table of people here, all supporting the same goal. So if you'd like to speak to us and you're at that stage where you're thinking about raising more funding, I'm happy to be a resource and happy to be a sounding board where needed. So that's it for me. I'll drop my LinkedIn and we'll take it from there.
Awesome. Thank you, Matilda. All right, we're reaching the top of the hour. I know some folks need to go. Some of us will stay on, including myself, if you can stay in here. If you have questions as far as like, who should I talk to, whatever, I'll hang out for a little while longer. Anybody else who wants to be here as a resource is welcome to stay. Again, thank you to our sponsors, Cleantech Council and Sea Change. We're going to be following up again with a post follow-up, the links to everybody that was here, the recording, a lot of the resources that were shared, anything else that we can throw in there. I'm going to take the obligatory event selfie, but with the Zoom in the background. So smile there. All right. Thanks, everybody. All right. Let us know if you have any questions, if we can help in any other way. Again, I'm going to stay on. Thank you to the WCS team for helping put this on and for everybody who showed up today to present. I hope you can meet each other. I'll send a little invite and again, so that at least the investors and the grantors here can meet each other as well.